In the past couple months, I built up a brand new e-commerce SEO agency from 0 to 6 figures in sales. That means over $100,000 in sales on 12-month contracts just from sending cold emails. This isn't to my audience, this isn't YouTube videos, this isn't to my email list. This is cold emails to people that have never heard of me before. And literally every client so far, which isn't many, but every client so far has never heard of me prior to sending the email. So it's not like I'm emailing people that may have already heard of me. So what I'd like to do in this video is walk you through how exactly I did that by going through my updated cold emailing strategy. My most popular video on this channel was my cold email strategy before. So let me go through how exactly it's changed and what the updated process for doing that is. Starting nice and simple, let's go through the process of landing these clients. So first up, we identify a list of people to email, and we'll go through exactly how to do that. But essentially we find, say, local business owners or e-commerce business owners or SaaS companies, and we create a list of them, and then we send them an email. Now this email, in my approach, is a video lead magnet. And what that means is we send something to them and we say, hey, would you like to see a video? And this video contains some type of value. This can either be case studies, ideally, or if you're brand new and don't have any, then you can also offer a video audit or some other type of value. It doesn't matter, but it's just a video offering value. Now, when people respond saying, yes, send that video to me, which is usually going to be maybe 2 to 5% of people, then you go ahead, record that video, send it over to them, and then you push them to get on a phone call. Now, most people will not respond. Most people you send this video to will not respond whatsoever. I'm saying this up front so people's expectations aren't blown. But for anyone that does respond, then you jump on a call and you go into your sales process. It is that simple. Now you can change this up a little bit. You can send the video directly without waiting for them to respond. You can also send other types of value. But the point is you offer something of value and then afterwards you push them to get on the phone. Now the reason we do this is because it adds a lot of value prior to ever speaking to them. If they watch a 10-15 minute video full of value, then they get on the phone with you, they're significantly more likely to make a purchase from you. Likewise, it's also easier to get them to agree to watch a video versus getting onto a phone call with you. So this is why we use this method. Now getting into the tools that you're going to need for this, you're going to need Hunter or some type of tool like that. Maybe Find That Lead as an alternative to find an email address of the business owner. You're going to need Google Suite to send the emails and respond to the emails. You're going to need a tool like Woodpecker or Mailshake. I'm personally using Woodpecker to automate sending those emails with ease. You're going to need a tool like Ahrefs or another SEO tool to analyze the website for the video audit and possibly even the emails. And you're going to need a tool like Loom to record the videos and send them over quickly and easily. It's significantly easier than the way we used to do things. Now moving on to the actual strategy, the first step is to identify who exactly you're going to email. Before you can actually use any tools or anything like this, you need to actually decide for yourself. Are you going to email local businesses? Are you going to email e-commerce stores? Are you going to email SaaS companies or other types of companies? And beyond that, is there a specific niche you want to email? So you're not just going to email all local businesses because it's too vague, and I have another video on this, but you can also email, say, dentists. Or maybe you want to email e-commerce stores that are selling, I don't know, CBD products or whatever. So you want to have a specific niche to get as specific as possible. It doesn't have to be a niche in terms of a certain industry. It could be just e-commerce stores that are on Shopify, which is what I'm personally focused on. But you want to have some sort of audience in mind so you can tailor your emails a little bit and not just emailing everyone because it's too open-ended and you don't want to work with everyone. Now, once you have that in mind, there's a few different tools you can use. Number one would be D7 Lead Finder for local businesses. Again, this is going to give you a massive list. It's going to be too big and too spammy to email all of them, but it's a good starting point. You can also use Built With. Again, same idea. Built With have huge lists. If you want for like e-commerce stores, you can literally have a list of however many 100,000, probably million Shopify stores. They give you the whole list of them, and then you have to go through that and filter them and segment out who exactly you want to email next. You can also do something a little bit different. You could have a look at, say, Ahrefs and go through a website like Product Hunt and see a list of every single external link on Product Hunt using Ahrefs. And then you can go through that, filter out who exactly is a SaaS company, for example, or who exactly is a business that's launched on Product Hunt, and then email all of them. So there's tons of options there. You just need to decide who is the right audience for your services. And I cannot tell you that because it's different for absolutely everyone. So at this point, you have your list. Now, unfortunately, this list is probably huge. right? If you look at Shopify businesses, for example, you could have a list of 30,000 businesses easily. Well, that is simply too much. It's too much to email altogether, and it's too much to email at one time. So you need to decide how exactly to prioritize that and how exactly to segment this. Now, here's the important part, segmentation. What I recommend is emailing no more than, say, 200 businesses in a single segment. Now, what do I mean by a segment? Well, a segment could be a single city. It could be a single type of metric. For example, you could email every multi-location business within a certain industry or anything like that. But a segment is just a small collection of businesses that you decide to email. Because the point is, you don't want to send an email to 1,000 people that is exactly the same, because that is not personalized. You may mail merge it, you may put their name in there, but it's not personalized. So you want to create segments of maybe 200 businesses at a time that you can email, and then personalize the email for that specific segment. For example, I'm focused on Shopify stores, right? So that is an audience altogether, but that's still too big, right? I can't email every single Shopify store the exact same email. It looks like spam. So how then do we create segments within this? Well, number one is we can focus on certain size sites. For example, there's Shopify Plus. And Shopify Plus is basically the enterprise version, which costs $2,000 a month. So we can email people that are on the enterprise version and have a different email for them because they're a bigger business. We can also look at various different metrics like the DR of the website, the amount of traffic they have, and personalize, creating segments based on low traffic sites, high traffic sites, high DR sites, low DR sites. We can also look at the industry and email, say, clothing brands with one specific type of email, and maybe email some furniture stores with a different type of email. So there's tons of different segments we can create there. It's really up to you to how exactly you want to personalize that and how exactly you want to write and angle your emails. Now, presuming that you've done this, you've created some different segments, again, no more than 200 emails, 200 businesses in a single segment. Now you need to decide who to email first, and really it depends on what your segments are. For example, if I'm segmenting based on the traffic they have, I probably want to email the high traffic sites because they likely have a higher budget for SEO services. So it really depends on who exactly you're emailing. You can also have filters here for things like the traffic on the site. So if there's zero traffic whatsoever, maybe you just don't want to email them because they're not putting any effort into their website. You can also filter out based on the domain age. If the domain is created in the past 3 months, something like that, maybe the past 6 months, then it's a new business, and they may not have the budget for SEO. It doesn't mean you'll never email them, but you just don't want to prioritize them. So you need to go through basically data here and decide who exactly to email in terms of the segments, and then how to prioritize who exactly to email. And I can't do that for you, but hopefully this gives you some ideas to get you thinking. Again, no more than 200 businesses per segment is a really good way to get very personalized emails. Now that you have your segments, you need to write up your email copy, and this is where everyone screws it up completely, including me in the past, to be fair. So here's an example email template that I used to share that still works pretty well in foreign languages and in less competitive niches. And just, you guys can read this and see exactly how this works, which is essentially we identify, okay, here's the keyword that you want to rank for. You're not ranking for it currently. Here's some competitors that are ranking for this. Would you like to see a video showing you how you can compete against them? Now, what is the problem with this email template? Well, firstly, what would happen if I sent this email to a dentist? Well, it would work. What would happen if I sent the same email to a construction company? Well, it still applies. What if I send it to a florist? Well, again, it still applies. Meaning that this email is not created for a specific segment. It is created for absolutely any local business. Therefore, it is not personalized. Sure, it has the name in there, it has the ranking, it has the keyword, and even has competitors in there, but that is not really that personalized, because again, you can send this same thing and just mail merge this information in there for literally 1 million plus businesses. Therefore, it is not personalized. You want to personalize to the segment and not just mail merging in some information. So if my segment is furniture stores, then I want to have personalization based on them being furniture stores. For example, if I'm emailing businesses that are multi-location furniture stores, then I want to mention to them, hey, I'm emailing you because you're a multi-location business selling this type of furniture. Now, what happens if you take that email and send it to a dentist? Well, it doesn't make sense because firstly, they may not be a multi-location business, and secondly, they don't sell this type of furniture or any type of furniture for that matter, right? So that is what I mean by personalization, not mail merging in the name. That isn't personalized. It's creating segments, again, no more than 200 businesses, and then personalizing the email for that segment. Now, here's another example on the complete opposite end of that. And this is a business that I was actually attempting to purchase a gift from. This is real. And I noticed they had some SSL certificate error, basically. So what I did is I mentioned that to them. I sent them a message and just mentioned, by the way, you have this problem. If you're interested, by the way, we do this sort of thing for our clients or something like that. You can read the email here. I'll find the actual email here and show it here. And I got a 100% response rate. Right now it's one email, it's one contact form message, but 100% response rate. And you will, if you send messages like this, you will get 100% response rate. However, it is balancing that act between the first example I showed you, where you're going to get a low response rate, and the second one, where you're going to get 100% or near perfect response rate. So how do you balance that? Well, rather than emailing one business at a time, you create, again, those segments, and really iterating this because it's so important. You create those segments of like 200 businesses, and within that segment, which is all, say, dentists within a certain city, then, okay, there's 200 dentists in this city. Okay, how do I email these dentists in this city and make something that they are going to understand? Maybe that's going to be, firstly, personalized for dentists, but that's going to apply nationwide. So, okay, dentist personalization, step one, okay? Now let's personalize it also for the city. So what can I mention that only people in the city will really understand? What is some lingo? What is something they understand really well? Or maybe something's different within the dental practice, I don't know, for that specific city. So how can you personalize it for that specific segment? Or for example, if you're doing Shopify like me and you email everyone that has a high level of traffic, you could just straight up tell them, hey, I'm emailing you because you're a Shopify store owner and you have a high level of traffic. However, I still believe you have a lot of potential for SEO. Here's why. So I'm segmenting based on data or whatever I decide to use for that. There's numerous factors as mentioned previously, and then I'm writing the email for the specific segment. Not for every dentist in the world. This isn't about scale. This is about personalizing to maybe 200 people, maybe even 50 people, just so it's super highly personalized just for them. And then it's going to work way better. The response rates are going to be significantly higher. Now, aside from that, how exactly do you write the emails? Well, number one, read your email out loud. So don't write this in a super professional, weird sounding way, and the easiest way to eliminate that is to read your email out loud. So pretend you're writing to a friend and read the email out loud. I mean, it's that simple. But some people will write emails and like,
Dear sir, I am writing this email to you today because I would like you to contemplate hiring myself and my agency for SEO services.
And it just sounds really weird and unnatural, right? So just read it out loud and just make sure it sounds natural, as in the way you would actually speak. This takes a little bit of practice, but just do it, okay? Number two, study copywriting. Now, I know I'm making you actually do some work here. I'm doing some homework, doing some research and learning. But guess what, guys? This is all about learning, improving your skills, and then those skills directly transfer into writing great emails and building a great business. Okay, so study copywriting. There was a number of amazing classic copywriting books. I would definitely suggest anything by David Ogilvy. He has multiple books, I believe. And then you also have like a whole bunch of classics there, like Claude Hopkins, Scientific Advertising, Gene Schwartz, Breakthrough Advertising, and a whole bunch of just classic copywriting books. I highly suggest you just look into what are some of the classic copywriting books, anything by Gary Halbert, and learn that stuff because it would directly apply to writing great emails. Beyond that, honestly, just have a little bit of fun with it. Don't make it too professional. Just have it fun, add some personality, and consider who exactly you're emailing. If I'm emailing SaaS companies or even e-commerce companies, I know they're similar to me. Maybe they're a little bit older than me, but probably similar sort of age anyway, right? I'm 27, and I could just have fun with it. I can write in a way that they like, and it's just personalized and just fun. I'm not trying to be professional or anything like that. I'm just trying to just entertain them a little bit because I'm wasting their time with an email, and at the same time as entertaining them, just try and offer some value and hope it helps them out, right? It's really that simple. It's not complicated at all. Now, on top of this, I would just say practice, right? And how do you practice? Well, you send personal emails like the one I showed before, one at a time. And you send one at a time, maybe 10 a day. And you just do 10 of these personal direct just for you emails, every day. What's going to happen when you do that is, number one, you'll probably sign some clients because those emails get very high response rates and it's not scalable, so it's clear you're adding more value. And number two, you're going to practice writing 10 emails every single day. These emails will be different every single day, so you're going to get better very, very quickly. Ultimately, if you want to know how I write good, effective emails, it's because I've been writing emails every day for the past 3 years or so, with a little break in between that, but the past 3-4 years or so, I've been writing emails every single day. So it's no wonder that I kind of figured this thing out and got pretty good at it, because I write a lot of emails. It's not rocket science. So anyway, that pretty much covers your main email. Your first email, simply offering a video lead magnet. So you personalize it based on that segment, as mentioned before, and then you offer some piece of value. So it's like, hey, I'm emailing you because you have a super high traffic website. You have 30,000 people visiting your site every single month. However, I still think there's a massive potential for SEO because of these reasons, X, Y, Z. Would you like me to send you a video showing you how you can tap into these opportunities, basically? If you're interested, let me know. And that is an email off the top of my head, but it's basically how this works. That is your main email, and I'm not giving you a template because I want you to write your own. I want you to practice, I want you to put in the time testing, and I want you to write your own email. That is what's going to get you results, not copy and pasting from my email template that will wear out in 3 months because everyone has used it, and then you're stuck again trying to wait for me to share another one. So write your own and practice creating your own. Now, next up is follow-up emails. So you send this initial email, I recommend following up about 2 to 3 times on top of this. I think 2 times is really enough because beyond that, it just gets a little bit annoying. Now, how exactly do you follow up? What is your follow-up email? Well, honestly, the first email can just be your bread and butter follow-up. What does that mean? It means, hey, did you have a chance to see this yet? And that is it. There's nothing fancy, just your basic follow-up. Have you had a chance to see this yet? Now, the next follow-up, if you're going to do 2 follow-ups, is pretty much going to be along the same lines, but try and make it a little bit more interesting. The way you can add a nugget of value in here, if you can personalize something in. So maybe you notice they had some issue with their website, maybe there is some SSL issue, or something you can very easily scrape and identify and include in that email. Or just include a joke, or just make it something better than just, have you seen this yet? Because it's annoying. As someone that gets emails all the time, and they email me and offer me something, and like, close, I don't want to see this. And then they email, have you had a chance to see this? Yes, but I'm not interested, close. And then they email you again, have you had a chance to see this? Like, come on guys, like, get some originality in there. Think a little bit more unique than this. So write up a joke or something like that, or just make it a little bit more entertaining than, have you had a chance to see this yet? But it's basically the same thing again anyway. So I'm saying I don't like this, but literally just do that anyway. Just email them again saying, have you had a chance to see this? But if you can add a nugget of value in there, or a joke, or just something that makes it a little bit different, a little bit more entertaining, then that would be really appreciated by your audience, as in the people you're emailing, and it would just work better altogether. So try and do that, but that is your follow-ups done. Now at this point, you have a huge list of businesses, websites to email. You have segments of no more than 200, but really they can be kind of 300 or so at this point, because you're probably not going to be able to email all of them anyway. Now what you want to do is you want to give this to a prospector. Now, yes, you can do this yourself, but if you're thinking about that, I think you're absolutely insane, because it's the most boring task in the world, and you can literally pay someone like 50 cents per email address to do it for you. So just don't do it yourself. There's no logical reason to do so. Now, what I recommend is going on a website like Upwork and posting that you want to hire a prospector, and hire a prospector that has done prospecting before. That's going to save you a lot of headache. And all you want to do is you want to give this person a list of URLs, which you should already have, and then you want to say to them, hey, I want you to find either the owner's name and email address, if you can find it. If you can't find it, a marketing person's name and email address, if you can find it. And if you can't find that, then just give me the generic email address, i.e. the info at, inquiries at, sales at, or whatever email address, just whatever you can find. And if they're good at what they do, they're going to use a tool like Hunter or Find That Lead or anything to do that. And then they're going to do some manual searching on Google and various different sources and attempt to find that email address for you. Now, I'm not going to cover how to do that in this video, because again, I really don't want you to do this. It's such a waste of time, and it's so easy to outsource. I pay someone on Upwork $5 an hour to do this for me. On average, he finds between 15 and 20 leads every single hour, meaning I pay him $5 for up to 20 leads. That is 20 email addresses. Again, some of them are generic and some of them the owner's email, for $5. So if you want to email 30 people a day, it costs me $7.50 a day, maybe $10 at absolute most, but it's never usually that much. So I think you can cover $10 a day to build your business. And if you can't, go get a job, then use that money to build this up, because you don't want to spend hours a day doing this yourself. And guess what? A prospector will be quicker than you because they've done it before and they know what you're doing. So skip the tutorials on how to do prospecting and just go pay someone $5 an hour to do it for you. Give them that list of URLs and they're gonna give you a list of email addresses, and that is done. Now, the only other thing I would advise having them do is to use the feature inside of Hunter or whatever other tool and just verify the email is correct. You don't wanna have your emails bouncing or not working or invalid or anything like that. So just make sure that they verify the emails first. It's going to save you some headache and save you getting spam listed with your domain or having deliverability issues longer term. All right, so at this point, you have your list of domains to email, you have their email addresses and names where applicable, and you have the email templates to send them based on the different segments that you've created. Now we need to get ready to start sending these out. We're going to use Google Sheets to do this, and Google Sheets is just awesome for everything, really. It's a really big part of my business. Now, we're going to start off with is very simple. You have your domain, you have your email address, and you have your name. You should already have this in Google Sheets, and you have this for each of your different segments. Now, what you want to do is create different columns for every piece of information that you'd like to personalize inside of the emails. For example, I mentioned that we may email people based on their industry. Well, you maybe want to mail merge something in there. So we have a column for either the industry name or some reference relevant to that industry. You're also going to have obviously their name and their email as separate columns, and you probably want to have other things that you want to include in their emails. You want to mention competitors, have a column for competitor 1, another competitor 2, and another for competitor 3. If you want to mention that they have a high traffic website, then include a column for their traffic, and maybe even include a column for how exactly your word talking about the traffic level they have. Anything like that, but create different columns inside of Google Sheets to personalize those emails. Now, the reason you want to do this is because we can quickly export this as a CSV file, and we can import this into Woodpecker or our tool of choice. So create all those columns first, have them all set up for exactly how you're going to email. Every single column is a piece of information that will be personalized into your email. And again, one sheet or one tab, whatever you want to call it, for every single email campaign, for every single segment. And then a bonus tip, what I like to do is I like to create separate sheets and separate segments, basically again, for where you have the owner's name and email, and for where you don't have the owner's name and email address. This just allows me to measure and compare the difference between where I have the personalized name included and a personalized email address versus just email a generic like info@ or hello@ or anything like that. So I just want to compare that difference. Then again, once you're done, export this as a CSV file, and then we need to go into Woodpecker and we need to set up our campaigns. And this is really, really simple. Number 1, create a new campaign. Number 2, import the CSV file and set how many emails you want to send per day. So you can just have it set as, say, 10 emails a day when you're starting this off, and just create that campaign, add all the emails that you already written up, include the mail merge, so the snippets that you wrote up, and it's really, really easy. I'm not going to share this with you because you can just go through tutorials with Woodpecker or Mailshake or whatever the heck tool you decide to use, because they're all pretty much the same thing altogether. Anyway, now before we get into actually sending the emails, I have a little bit of advice for you, so let's go into this first. Firstly, don't use your main agency domain for emailing. You don't want to have any risk of this getting penalized. So do not use this for your email, and instead get a brand new domain. Now this could be the .net variation, it could be a longer domain variation. For example, my website lionzero.com, I'm not going to email from lionzero.com, so what will I do? Maybe I'll register lionzero.net, or maybe I'll have lionzeroagency.com or some other variations like this, and then I'll use that for emailing, and then that's going to work. You can also use completely different domains. So in this campaign I'm doing now, I have really old domains, really old email addresses that I set up years ago and haven't really used recently. I just use them for sending the cold emails because that works great. Nobody really cares that, hold on a second, why is this domain differently to your agency domain? Who cares, all right? So don't overthink this. Just set up some different domains. I recommend set up 2 or 3 of them and just warm them up. And what does warm up an email address mean? It means that you want to send some emails to people that will actually respond to you. So send some emails to friends or, get this, yourself, and then reply to yourself and have a little fun conversation with yourself in emails. This is going to be extremely weird, but it works. So act like a crazy person, email yourself, chat with yourself, spend a little time, just a few emails a day, just emailing back and forth between yourself, and that warms it up a little bit. And then also when you get into the email itself, what I suggest doing is emailing a small number of businesses initially. So start off with maybe just 10 emails a day total, including the follow-ups, and then maybe slowly increase that to like 15, then 20, then 25, then 30. You don't have to be that exact, but just slowly ramp up the volume to maybe where you get to like your 30 emails a day on a single email address, a single domain. Then you can use another one and so on if you want to scale this. But it's not about scale. If you just email in 30 businesses a day, that's fine. With the example I shared before that I built a 6-figure agency in 2 months, I did that from 200 emails. Not 2,000, not 20,000, 200 emails. So you don't need to have massive volume. It's about a small number of highly personalized emails. Now, once your campaign is set up, you simply need to monitor the results. The good thing about Woodpecker is if you upload your CSV file with all the information in it, and you say that you want to send 10 emails a day, then Woodpecker will send 10 emails a day and all your follow-ups for you. You don't need to go in every single day and say, okay, schedule the next 10, and schedule the next 10, and schedule the next 10, because that is work, right? You just upload 200 businesses, and it will send 10 a day for you, including all follow-ups. And then you just monitor your emails to see if you get any responses. But what I'd also recommend doing is monitoring the stats. Now, the response rate doesn't matter. The open rate doesn't matter. None of that actually matters if the ROI is there. The only thing I would be cautious to check is the bounce rate. So again, verifying that your prospector is doing a good job. If you're getting like a 5% bounce rate, or especially if it's higher than that, then your prospector is doing a bad job of finding and verifying those emails. So either update them and tell them what the problem is. So here's the emails that bounced. Please check your process for this, or fire them and hire someone else. Right? It's that simple. They're very easy to replace. But check the bounce rate, make sure it's not too high. For the rest of it, look at the videos I shared before, look at the stats I shared. It's nothing spectacular, the numbers I'm getting. The response rate is going to be an indicator. You're looking at anywhere between a 2 to 5% response rate. Besides that, honestly, I wouldn't overthink it too much unless it's just abysmal and you've sent 200 emails and nobody's responded whatsoever. But beyond that, just anywhere from 2 to 5% is pretty good. And more importantly, check that bounce rate and make sure you're not having deliverability issues. Okay, so you've done all this work, you've started sending some emails, and hopefully someone has responded and have said, you know what, that actually sounds good, please send me the video. Now, before this happens, just to note, you're probably going to have more people say, go away, get lost, stop emailing me, okay? That's more likely to happen. But enough of that, and you're eventually going to have one person who's going to make your day, make your month, and they're going to say, you know what, I would actually like to see that video. Please send it over to me. Okay, great. So here is the point where you record the video and you send it over to them. Now, what are you going to do here? You're going to open up Loom, which is a video recording tool. It's either a Chrome extension or an app, and it's going to allow you to record your screen. And once you've done, it's going to automatically upload this. It's going to automatically create a link for this, and you can literally just copy the link and send it to the prospect straight away. You have to create a landing page. You don't have to do anything complicated. You don't even have to like export the video, then upload the video, then put it on a landing page and email to them. It's just literally record, okay, copy link, it's processed, okay, send to client, right? That easy. So absolutely use a tool like Loom. It makes it way easier. Now, in terms of the video itself, here is the process. There is 4 steps to this video. There is the opportunity, there is the problem, there is the solution, and there is the pitch. So let's go through them. The first is opportunity, and this is very easy. Hey, I noticed that you're not ranking for these keywords here, which have a search volume of around 10,000 searches per month. And I'm gonna literally open up those keywords inside of Ahrefs Keyword Explorer, show them all the keywords, show them the searches, and show them the competitors, so you can see really, hey, there's actually 10,000 people a month searching for this. Now, it could be 1,000 a month, it could be a few hundred a month as local SEO. It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm showing them, here's the opportunity available for your business, and they should understand what that means. If I show an e-commerce store, there's 10,000 people a month searching for this service, searching for these products, and you're not ranking, they know the numbers. They know in their head, hold on a second, I'm missing out on a lot of money, because they know the traffic, they know how much a visitor is worth to them, because they're a real business, right? You're going to show them firstly, here's the opportunity available for you, right? So here's the keyword, and you're not ranking for this at all, or you're ranking on the 3rd page or the 4th page, right? So I'm going to show them the opportunity first. Then I'm going to go into the problem. So why aren't they ranking? Well, in the case of e-commerce, in many cases, it's because they haven't optimized their category pages. Maybe they have one category for all of their sofas, but they don't have a category for leather sofas or corner sofas, or even more specific than that. Maybe they don't have a category for brown leather sofas or white leather sofas or black leather sofas, right? So I'm going to show them, hey, look, there's actually another 3,000 people a month searching for brown leather sofas. No, I'm making that up on the spot because I don't know the actual search volume. And I'm going to show them, but you don't have a category page for this. Now, simply by creating a category page for this, it allows you to actually rank for this. In fact, if we look at the competition here, we can see that they have a page for brown leather sofas, every single one of them. Now, again, I don't know if that's true, I'm making this up, but that's how it works. So you show them what is the problem. That's what I do for e-commerce. It's usually about optimizing their category pages, whether that's not correctly optimizing it or not having them whatsoever. And for local businesses, one of the easiest things is either the major elements, maybe their title tag, their meta description, their H1 not being correctly optimized. Beyond that, it's backlinks, because backlinks is nice and easy. Hey, look, this competitor here is number 1, right? Well, they have 30 referring domains. This site number 2, well, they have 27 referring domains. This site number 3 have 25 referring domains. Looking at your website, you have just 10 referring domains. And here, let me show you what a backlink is. Let me open up the competitor's backlinks to show you exactly what they look like. We can even do a breakdown of what they are. Now, we look at yours, here's the comparison, here's the link gap, here's the difference between where they are and where you are currently. If you want to bridge this gap, and this is the solution aspect, this is the next step. The solution here is to build more backlinks and bridge that gap between where the competitors are and where you are currently. Or for e-commerce, the solution here is to create those category pages and optimize those categories for these keywords. Or for SaaS, it could be to create specific informational content that leads them into a free trial or a sign up or something for their product, right? But show them, here's the problem, and then here's how we're going to solve that. Here's the problem, and then here's the solution. This whole video is 10-15 minutes at most. It doesn't need to be that much because you're just showing them one major opportunity, the problem with that, and how exactly to solve that. And then you go into your pitch. And this is where everyone screws up, because they go through all this effort with a video, and then they get to the end of it, and it's the pitch, and they're like, anyway, so you're like, sorry, what did you say? Because they get all shy and awkward about pitching. Now look, guys, it's not that difficult. You don't need to do anything fancy whatsoever. In fact, I don't really do a pitch anymore. Here's what I do in the video. I simply say, so if you're interested in this, this is what we do all day long. We work with Shopify stores like yours to help them increase the traffic by doing exactly what I showed you in this video. If you're interested in talking more about doing this for your business, then let me know, send me an email, and we could jump on a call and discuss it in more detail. That's it, right? I just made that up on the spot, but that's pretty much what I do in every video. I just say, hey, this is what we do. We're experts at this thing I just showed you. If you'd like to talk more about it, let me know and we will talk more about it. That is it. I'm not talking prices, I'm not talking numbers, I'm not talking anything. Just, hey, let's just jump on a call if you're interested in this. That's it. That is my famous video audit pitch. And at this point, you're going to send this video over to them. Now, a couple of notes here. Number 1, again, use Loom because it's easier, it's quicker, and you don't have to upload anything like that. Number 2 is if you make a mistake, just roll through it. This is all about speed and efficiency here. So if you make a mistake, don't cut it. I cut these videos, obviously, but don't cut this video when you're sending a video audit. Just send the damn thing. If you make a mistake, then just correct yourself and continue. If you mumble up your words, because I do this often, because I speak fast, too fast sometimes, then roll through it. Just correct yourself and just keep going. It's all about speed and efficiency here. And the final point, actually, the third point, is that most people, when you send this to them, will not respond. Suck it up, okay? Most people, you will email them this video and they will never, ever, ever respond to you. So you're gonna go through all this effort. You're gonna send this video to them, you record this video, you're gonna add value to them, and they will not respond to you. Now, how do you deal with that? Do you cry and get angry and how dare they? Like, I'm entitled to a response, I put in this value, they asked me to send this, I recorded it, I sent it to them, and they didn't respond to me. No, you just move on. It doesn't matter, okay? Because the few people that do respond to you will likely buy from you. Now, I'm not saying all of them will. There's a pretty good percentage of people that respond, they will jump on a call with you, are very, very likely to buy because you added a significant amount of value here. So here's what you do, okay? Number one is if they don't respond, then follow up. Now, you don't need to be crazy about this. Just send a couple email follow-ups and just say, hey, did you have a chance to see that video? Here's the link again. And oh, by the way, did you notice this thing I mentioned in the video? Here's the link again for it. Just add a little bit of value again with that second follow-up. That is it. It's not complicated. You can call them if you want and try and be pushy and follow up, but I just don't have the time to do it. It's probably more effective. I just personally just don't have the time to do that. Beyond that though, just focus on the people that actually respond, because what's going to happen is you're going to send this video to them and some people are going to respond fast. And they're going to respond saying, yeah, I'm curious, let's jump on a call. Then you get on a call and then begins your sales process, which we'll talk about in another video because this one's getting pretty long. But that is it. That is my cold email process. It's very, very simple. You write good emails, you offer a piece of value, and when they respond saying they're interested, you send the video, you send the piece of value, and then if that's enticing enough to them, you get on the phone. And the whole reason for doing this is because we want to warm people up before we ever speak to them. Before we ever get on the phone, I want them to like me, I want them to trust me, and I want them to want to buy from me. I want to make it as easy as possible to sell. This is marketing, and then sales should be easy as a result of great marketing. And I'm also not looking to convince someone they need SEO. This sounds weird, right? Wait, you're sending a video to them, you're putting all this effort in, you're not trying to convince them to buy SEO? No. I'm trying to find people that believe in SEO, that want SEO, but are struggling to find a good agency, because almost everyone that knows about SEO has been ripped off by SEO before. Right? Almost everyone that's had SEO experience before has hired an agency and that agency sucked for the simple reason that most people suck at SEO. So I'm emailing them not to convince them, hey, you should buy SEO. I'm emailing them to convince them, hey, you want SEO already. You know the value of SEO, and I'm highlighting the value in that video, but I'm showing off, here's my technical ability. Here's how much I know about this stuff. Here's how I can solve that for you. And I'm building, establishing trust. So they trust me to do this for them, then they want to hire me. I'm not trying to convince them of SEO, I'm trying to convince them of me. That is the difference, and that's the reason I'm doing emailing this way. So that is how I do things. And again, my stats so far, I've showed them previously, but with the first 2 months of this campaign, well, actually a month and a half, it was 200 emails, landed 3 clients, and has 6 figures worth of 12-month contracts. Again, go back and watch the previous videos on my channel where I break down how exactly I did that. And there's also going to be ongoing updates as we scale this and grow this further. But that is how I do cold emailing. If you have questions about this, please leave me a comment below. I'll happily answer pretty much every single question if I can. I want to find out how many of these emails should you be sending? Well, it's up to you. I recommend about 30 a day is a decent level. You don't need to send a ton. You don't need to send 100 emails a day. Just 30 different businesses a day plus your follow-ups is more than enough. So really, it's 30 businesses a day plus maybe 2 follow-ups. That is enough. You don't need to email 100, 200, 300. I've seen people email 1,000 a day. At that point, it's just spam. It may work. It's not the approach I'm sharing with you today. Just build up to 30 a day. You can start with 5 or 10. Build up to 30, and that is enough to have a multiple 6-figure business. Again, 200 emails, that is 200 businesses emailed, got me to 6 figures already. So it doesn't take much. Just get started and personalize the emails for segments and practice writing great emails. That is the big differentiator. You want to know the difference between my approach versus others? One, I'm really, really good at what I do in my biased opinion. I'm good at what I do, which makes sales significantly easier than most people because I just say to them, hey, I'm good at what I do. All right, it's just confidence. Like, it helps a lot. Okay, and number 2 is because I know how to write emails. Because I've been writing emails at this point for years, so my email copy is good. It stands out. It's different to what everyone else is sending, and I'm not going to give that to you because I'm not that given. But I will tell you how to do it in this video, as I already have. So you just need to practice as I've explained, as I've shown you this process. So anyway, that is all I have for you today. If you liked this video, please do me a favor, smash the like button below so YouTube recommends this video to more people. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video where we discuss sales and how to close your deals.